Hello, this is John Fredrickson, State of Pro Wrestling, post WrestlePalooza Saturday night here from the Depot. As things happen, Devin Monroe unfortunately wasn't able to join us here tonight. But we have a replacement guest, the greatest replacement guest in all of shoot interview history from Knocked Out Entertainment, Kyle Olson. How you doing tonight?
How's it going? I'm doing pretty well. I'm literally sitting here editing photos.
Can we get a sneak preview of this? Look at that handsome man.
Well, here I'll show you the last. I'll show you the last photo because it actually turned out good.
State of Pro Wrestling sneak preview exclusive.
I'm literally like I grabbed some food and then started editing, so it was like, I'm gonna just work on this and
professional. If you want to chase your dreams and make it happen and not just talk and bullshit about what happens and get really drunk at WrestlePalooza, this is how you really work and like pull it off. You still. Well, how many hours have you put in this between last night and today?
I don't know. It is WrestlePalooza weekend and it's also Wrestle Kingdom weekend.
Right.
So it kind of becomes a blur because I went home and then put Wrestle Kingdom on my TV and was editing as it was the matches I didn't care about as much.
Hey, you're a big New Japan fan?
Yeah, I'm a big New Japan fan.
What were some of your favorite or matches you were looking forward to this year?
At Wrestle Kingdom, I really liked my top three matches yesterday. I really enjoyed Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley. It was a Texas Death Match. That was a lot of fun. Will Ospreay versus Hiromu Takahashi was a lot of fun, and then the main event, which was Kota Ibushi versus Kazuchika Okada, that was really good. Like, that was good. I watched that this morning because it got a little late. I mean, the show started at 2 a.m. like this our time, so
Central Standard.
So.
You're in the lovely state of Minnesota. Kyle, you do photography here. How many years have you been doing this for your first wrestling?
For first wrestling, technically I think about four and a half. Because I started photography, doing wrestling photography in November of 2014. And my first WrestlePalooza, I believe, was June of 2015. So yeah, about 4.5 years at this point. So
awesome, man. And you do a lot more than just wrestling photography. You do a lot of interesting photography. Can you tell us more about what you do?
So I do a wide variety of things. Actually, part of it, funny because we're at WrestlePalooza, it kind of has to do with WrestlePalooza. So I do a lot of burlesque photos because I met Sweet Pea at these shows, and so like I met Sweet Pea, and then funny enough that I do a bunch of pole and performing arts shows, which she's also the MC of for like the bigger ones, and so it was like, it was actually a really calming effect because I'd already done like 2 WrestlePalooza shows when I first started doing the pole stuff. And I was really worried, like, I don't know anybody, it's going to be weird, like, I'm going to be an outsider. And then it's like, our MC is Sweet Pea, go down and, like, because I had to, like, get info for the show. It's like, our MC's got the rundown, and she's downstairs in, like, this room, go find her, it's Sweet Pea. Like, I know her, okay, cool. So she made that a lot easier for me.
Thank you, Sweet Pea.
Yeah, she's great.
Thank you for helping him out.
Yeah. And then I do a lot of modeling stuff, and I do a lot of random things. But
cool. You got a podcast?
Yeah, I do a podcast, but like wrestling is like usually photography-wise is the priority.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like
favorite son.
Yeah, I basically tell everybody, it's like, all right, yeah, I can totally do that show, unless there's a first show, because I'm going to do that,
Yeah, a lot of love here tonight.
Yeah.
Definitely very cool. We recently did a top 25 wrestlers of WrestlePalooza. Who are some of your favorite wrestlers that maybe you didn't know before and you were introduced to them here at First Wrestling?
The biggest one always is Shane Strickland. You know, like now Isaiah Swerve Scott. Like I think he was one of those that I heard the name before, and it was like, oh yeah, he's cool. And then he gets booked here, and it's like, oh, it was really really good. And his first one was a 4-way. I believe it was Fire Ant, Strickland, Jason Cade, and Cannon. And even in a 4-way, it's like, that dude's really good. And it's like, oh yeah, now he's in WWE.
Especially to stand out with that level.
Yeah, with that level of talent in the ring. And I've luckily been able to work with like Jason Cade on a couple other shows too. He's really cool. But yeah, like my number one is always Strickland. I won't do a whole, but like the couples that like stood out. Like Strickland always stood out. Arya is basically the reason I have this job, in some ways.
I gotta thank Kyle too, because Kyle, you helped me shoot my first video interview with
Arya. Yeah. But yeah, like Arya, it was Arya's idea to do kind of a club promotion reel, and
famous ones you see on YouTube of.
Yeah, it was like him and Cannon and like the whole crew kind of got together and it was like, hey, we want to do this. Who do we know that can do something like that? And then of course Corbin vouches for me because I went to high school with Corbin and Cruz.
Oh, interesting fact.
Oh yeah.
Did you know?
Yeah. So Corbin vouched for me because he always has.
Darren Corbin class act.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was Arya's idea to do this thing, and then Cannon liked what I did, so I kept coming back.
Very cool, man. Any favorite matches from this weekend or memories?
I really liked Airwolf versus Jake Atlas last night.
Oh my god.
And even though I was running around during the first part of it, I'm always a big fan of the North. Ethan Page in particular, but like I'm a big fan of the North, and so like North versus Flip Bros, it was like, oh man. And yeah, it was actually kind of a weird throwback because since I was trying to run around getting an interview at the beginning, I ended up shooting part of it from the balcony, which is where, because the first WrestlePalooza show I did was before we got the barricades around, so I'm a little timid at some points, like especially when I started, and it was like, I'm not feeding through this crowd and trying to get and fight my way to ringside. I'm just gonna, I am just gonna shoot from every which way direction, and so yeah, it was like a throwback of like, oh yeah, I'm shooting from the balcony again. Cool.
What are some of your favorite spots here at First Avenue? I always, as a fan, I like moving around and seeing it. What are some of your
so a bunch of my friends that have started to come are always right at the there's those like 3 or 4 stairs kind of as you're going back to the bar. They're always on like the first or second step, and then because my roommate is 6'4", so like we keep joking, he pretty much looks like he could be Lore's brother. And so he's 6'4", so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna stand towards the back because I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be a jerk and stand in everybody's way. So he stands at the top of the steps and stop at those little steps. And yeah, that's kind of was our spot. The first one I went to as a fan was before it started selling out, and it was me, my friend Craig, and Scott Story. And we actually just got to camp right by one of the big staircases, like right next to it, because they're, I say there weren't that many people, but it was like there were like 400, 500 people, but it was just it was 400, 500, not nearly 1,000. So it's like you can, yeah.
What are some of you got to ask people what their favorite aspects of First Wrestling are? What are some of your favorite aspects that they bring out in pro wrestling?
I love just the community and everything around it, because even like the guys from even some of the bands like actually really appreciate the photos that I take and like that kind of stuff.
The band tonight was amazing. I really dug their
I really did.
Their style, like the look.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get. I tried to get a couple because I was bouncing back and forth different areas. I got a couple actually behind them, like shooting out, trying to so it was the guitar player and the bassist, and then you can see the crowd behind them. And I think they're gonna like that shot. So, yeah.
Anything you want to plug of yours?
Not really. Just follow me at like Knocked Out Entertainment and Knocked Out Films on Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Now do it. Go check it out. Amazing stuff. Great work as always. Thank you for joining us. The greatest fill-in guest of all time, Kyle Olson, everyone.
This is Darby Allen.
And Hell's favorite harlot, Priscilla Kelly.
Check out State of Pro Wrestling.
I'm Desmond Xavier.
Zachary Wentz.
Trey Miguel.
And together we are the Rascals.
And you're watching.
You're listening.
No, you're listening.
You're listening.
What are we?
Camera right there.
The state of the what?
The wrestling, State of Wrestling?
The state of pro wrestling. Is it a podcast? What is it? Shoot interviews. Shoot.
Hello?
You're watching that.
Get down. Someone said shoot. Get down.
Red light on, baby. Old Messer here. Checking this State of Pro Wrestling. It's Master approved, big dog. Check that out right now. 10 out of 10 stars on that. What's that, Meltzer? Fuck Meltzer, baby. Old Master approved, big dog. Whew.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you are watching the State of Pro Wrestling.
Beautiful stuff. Hey, we look forward to seeing all your work from tonight. And I always thank you. We'll see you at Battleground.
Yep. I'll be at Battleground later on the 26th.
25th. You got the anniversary show coming up. You do some announcing with them?
So I used to do. So Battleground was my first wrestling show first wrestling promotion that I ever worked with.
Okay.
And I started doing commentary, and now I'm their basically go-to photographer and do some video stuff.
You're always kind of doing different stuff and like.
Yeah, I do everything. So.
Cool.
But yeah, so depending what they need me to do, most likely I'll be doing photos on that show. So.
All right, very cool. Well, thank you, Kyle, taking some time out. He just wasted his whole fucking lunch break on me. So thank you. I appreciate you using your lunch break. We better get you back to work before the boss comes in. We don't want to get you fired. All right. John Fredrickson, State of Pro Wrestling. Thank you.